Hi again, I'm Rob.
And I'm Jessica.
We are continuing our discussion about UTEP, that's the University of Texas at El Paso, one of Olin's partners. We're still here in Olin's design studio, lovely setting to think about interactive designs, curricular work, all of those kind of fun issues that Olin engages in all the time. We were talking last time about UTEP, about what Olin does when we go to UTEP and what we gain from this relationship. It's interesting. How does that connect to our mission and all these other big aspirations that we have?
Well, I think, Rob, that's really important because a partner like the University of Texas El Paso, as you and I described, I think personally we've both gotten a lot out of that partnership.
Oh, yes.
But that's just one of several big partnerships and of many sort of small and medium-sized partnerships that we have at Olin. And it goes all the way back to the mission, why Olin was created to begin with. And we were created not only to educate engineering innovators, as our mission describes, but to transform engineering education more broadly. And in the last, 5 to 6 years, we've really taken that part of our mission very seriously and have really been exploring how we can do that. And so the UTEP partnership that started 3 or 4 years ago was a perfect sort of proving ground to understand not just what it means to help another school develop a really great engineering program, but how it actually informs us and makes it easier for us to transform engineering education more broadly with other schools and other large partners.
That's really interesting. And I know I could respond to that individually, and I'm speaking for many of our colleagues. I think both of us feel we came to Olin, we want to help our students, we want to teach them, we love teaching. We also want to have this bigger effect. We want to learn more about the bigger context.
Right.
And I know when I go to UTEP, it's so interesting for me to see of all the things I have to say, of all these things that I think are valuable, which ones stick. Thinking of spaghetti sticking to the wall, which ones stick and which ones roll off, which ones are valuable to them and interesting,
right,
and which ones aren't. It's an interesting mirror sometimes to hold up and to think about stuff that works in my context for the students I'm used to with my teaching style is now being viewed by someone with a different teaching style, with a different cultural context, different students. I find I take a lot of this back with me to my own classroom when I'm thinking about it.
Absolutely, and I think the other thing is, at Olin, as a faculty member, we have this idea of continuous and ongoing curriculum innovation.
Oh, yes.
As I'm sure many of our alumni are familiar with, we often have a fairly rapid pace of change, especially in the early years. And I think we have a little more controlled pace at this point. But the faculty at Olin that are deeply involved in envisioning the next iteration of the Olin curriculum are the faculty that are out there working with partners like UTEP, helping them to co-design and co-create the next iteration of their programs or brand new programs or even brand new colleges that are starting. And so there's this really nice synergy between being involved in something brand new at Olin, trying something new, integrating new courses. For example, 6 Microbes That Changed the World is a great example, something that you've done. But
what a great example that
yes.
is. I just want to say, I love that example.
I thought you might like that example. But I think those are the kinds of things, being involved in those experiences at Olin really set us up nicely to bring our experiences outside and not just, here you should teach this kind of class, but here's the experience that Rob and Jean Huang went through when they created the 6 Microbes class. And this is what it means to collaborate with a faculty member. This is what it means to develop an integrated offering. How is the sausage made? And the fact that we can bring those experiences to our partners and to the faculty that are on the ground at those schools, developing these new programs and reinventing their own programs, I think is really the strongest part of things at how we do this.
You're so right about that. I'm just thinking both of us come back, when we're on the plane ride back home, we're tired, we're sort of worn out, right? We're thinking about all the things that we just did. We're hoping that we did well by them. We're also inspired when we come back. We have new ideas. I know I come back and right away the question you've gotten in one of those workshops that you didn't really have a great answer to, the wheel starts to turn, doesn't it? You're just thinking, now when I teach that course again next semester, she was right when she questioned me on that. That was a good call.
Absolutely. It's invigorating to be part of these partnerships. And I think, it's really important. Olin is really starting to make its mark. And, when people think about creating new programs, trying to reinvent what they're already doing, more and more programs, more and more schools, not just in the US, but all over the world, they're looking to Olin, which is really exciting for us. And so the more schools we work with and the different kinds of schools, I think UTEP is a great example of a school where the learning was 50-50. I mean, we learned just as much in working with them as they got from us in the creation of this new program.
That's right.
And so I think that, you know, it really serves us, but not just us as faculty, it serves our students.
Speaking from my own perspective once again, I find myself a little envious when I work with a school like UTEP. You just see that they're seeing everything fresh, they've got the blank slate, and I just say, I remember what that was. I remember once upon a time, I was that blank slate person. Those were happy days, weren't they? They
Absolutely.
were exhausting. Yeah, they were a little crazy, sometimes roller coaster, but boy, that's fun. So that's another sense of perspective that we gain from working there. You come back and you remember how you got where you were at Olin today.
Absolutely. So, all right, well, thank you for watching another episode.
It's been great to talk to you. We'll be back soon, we hope.